In this lesson, we're going to learn how to compare adjectives. And by comparing adjectives, what I mean is we're going to be able to say something is big, bigger, or biggest. Or a man could be wise, he may be wiser, or he may be wisest. And so each of these degrees, we call each of these single ones a degree of the adjective. We call the positive degree, so that would be wise. That's just the adjective by itself. You already know how to decline those, so you can do the positive already. The comparative degree is wiser. And then the superlative degree is wisest. Now, like English, in Greek, for the most part, all we're going to do is add a little suffix or an infix. We're going to add something. We're going to take the adjective. We're going to use an infix. And then we're going to use our standard endings. Same thing with the superlative. We're going to have our adjective, the positive degree, plus an infix, plus the endings. So that infix, like we do with English, looking for the ER or the EST, that's going to signal to you, I know what degree this is. So let's take a look at first the comparative. Now the comparative then is wiser. Or if they were to say just, it would be more just. Right? So in English, we have two ways. Greek it really has only one way. Now Greek also has irregulars. We're not going to cover those today, but do be aware that they exist. So the basic idea is we're going to add this infix ter. We're going to take our stem. We're going to add this ter suffix, and then we're going to add our endings. So teros, tera, and that's long alpha. And that's why the accent's there, teron. So if you see this ter, that equals English ER. Right? So let's see how this is. Now, there are a couple of rules you need to keep in mind. If the second to the last syllable of the adjective is short, so not the last syllable, not the os, but the one right before the os, is short, you're going to lengthen the o. Now, how is an adjective, how do we tell if that second to the last syllable is short? Well, it's going to be short by nature. So it may be an alpha that's short by nature, not the long alpha, or an iota, or an omicron. So we get things like sophos. Well, this omicron is short, that's the second to the last syllable, so we'd lengthen that omicron of the os and add our teros. So sophoteros, and it'd be sophotera, sophoteron. And if you look at these endings, you say, okay, this is a first and second declension adjective. So we're going to decline it just like we would kakos, kake, kakon, kalos, kale, kalon, whichever adjective you choose to use. So sophoteros, sophos, wise, sophoteros, wiser. Or axios, worthy. This is a short iota, and I know that from, one of the reasons I know is that I know that in Greek it's axioteros. So the omega used there because the iota is short, second to the last syllable. So axioteros, worthy, more worthy, axioteros. Again, when you're reading, if you see this ter, you know right away you are in the comparative. Now, if the second to the last syllable of the adjective is long, we're going to keep the omicron, the O sound, short. So if this iota were long, this would stay short. It would stay in omicron. Well, how is a syllable long? It's either long by nature, and this would be eta or omega, or an alpha that's long, and so on, or long by position. And we could also include diphthongs there. But long by position is if it's followed by two consonants, or a letter that is made up of two consonants, like C. So let's take a look at some of these. Makros, big, Well, this alpha is long by position because it's followed by a kappa in a row, 2 consonants. So it's makroteros. This omicron is going to stay in omicron. We still have our ter suffix, and then we just add our endings, first and second declension endings. Or if we had moros, there's long by nature, it's an omega, so we're going to keep that omicron there, moroteros, more foolish. Still, we have that ter suffix. That's the comparative. Now the superlative, the S, so wisest, the basic rule is we're going to add tatos, tate, taton, to the stem. So look for this tat as your key. And it actually has the same rules about longs and shorts. So if the second to the last syllable of the adjective is short, we lengthen the O. So sophos, sophotatos, wisest. And you'll notice these endings are first and second. So they decline like your regular first and second declension adjectives. Axios, worthy, most worthy, axiotatos. And short iota, so we're going to lengthen the O sound following it. And the reverse is also true. So if the second to last syllable is long, keep the O short. Makros, there it's a long alpha, remember? Makrotatos, biggest. Moros, morotatos, most foolish. So, again, unless you're composing, you don't have to worry too much about whether it's an omega or an omicron, but do watch this infix. That will key you in whether it's a comparative or a superlative.